Heavy rain and rushing water submerged Southern California Sunday, causing mudslides and turning typically dry roads into rivers.
Sturgeon, bro, we're sturgeon!
Rescue crews around the region raced to save stranded drivers, braving the racing waters to save this trapped family with a young child, pulling a father and son from their stalled truck overnight, and floating a raft to a couple before their truck washed away. When 15-foot waves in San Diego dragged 2 women into the ocean Saturday, an onlooker dove in, saving one of them.
She was kind of in closer, I jumped in, and I don't know, I got her and I threw her over my shoulder.
Fighting the waves, rescue crews searched for more than 40 minutes before finding the second woman and pulling her to shore. She died late Sunday. To the north, near Los Angeles, roadways were covered with nearly 4 feet of water, forcing lifeguards to go door to door to help families.
We've been here for about 5 years, and this is the highest we've seen it yet.
The Syrian army says it has clashed with ISIL militants in the eastern city of Deir el-Zor in the Euphrates Basin. State media has released footage of the Syrian army fighting on the ground under the cover of the Russian Air Force. Earlier this month, the Islamic State group launched a fierce assault on the government enclave, trying to cut it off from a nearby military airbase in a battle that's killed dozens.
Tonight, the Deep South is reeling after tornadoes swept through over the weekend. At least 44 twisters were reported. 19 people were killed, more than were killed by tornadoes in the United States in all of last year.
The tornado flattened neighborhoods from Louisiana to central Georgia.
Hello, you under the house?
Overnight teams searched by flashlight for victims and survivors. 7 people were found dead in this trailer park in Adel, Georgia, including Amanda Rowe. Deborah Tinsley Powell is her sister.
She had the best smile, and she just loved my children so much.
We need a lot of help here in Dougherty County.
Briscoe Helis, the county chairman, posted video he took on Facebook of the Paradise Village mobile home park. 4 people were killed here.
It literally looks like God took half of the mobile home park and threw it across the street into the woods.
The Davises feel grateful to be alive, but their home of 35 years is now gone in one violent minute.
What are you going to do?
Trust in the Lord and move on.
A Christian university in Mississippi was also hit hard by those devastating tornadoes. William Carey University in Hattiesburg suffered extensive damage, but thankfully no one was killed. A school spokesperson says nearly all of the 30 buildings on campus were damaged and about 100 vehicles were totaled. But the university president says something remarkable happened at the chapel.
We had extensive damage to our beautiful Bass Chapel on campus, but the Bible on the pulpit is left undisturbed, and it's open to Psalm 46. God is our refuge and strength in times of trouble.
The word of God stands. William Carey University is accepting cash donations to help students replace their books, computers, as well as their vehicles.
It has taken 3 long and bloody months to get this far. On an eerie drive through Mosul, the destruction became worse the closer we got to the university, a former ISIS weapons factory. Donald Trump has vowed to eradicate ISIS militants, but it's an enormous challenge. For these Iraqi special forces, recapturing Mosul University was a symbolic victory. Thousands of Iraqi soldiers are thought to have lost their lives in Mosul, some in the battle to reclaim this sprawling complex, including a well-stocked chemistry lab where militants invented new types of bombs.
Aside from the obvious trail of destruction left behind, there are still signs of the ISIS occupation, including these 2 ISIS flags still flying above the overpass.
ISIS still holds western parts of the city. We spoke with Lieutenant General Abdul Wahab al-Sadi, who told us he's counting on more support from President Donald Trump.
What do you need most?
We need airstrikes, the general said. We need more equipment, including drones. That might be a tough sell with the new president, given that the United States has launched countless airstrikes in the assault on Mosul and spent millions retraining and arming Iraqi forces. But the general told us the Iraqi army still needs more help. For those in Mosul exhausted by the fighting, that's the last answer they wanted to hear.
Air raids by a Saudi-led coalition and fighting near the strategic Bab al-Mandab Strait killed at least 52 fighters among Shiite Houthi rebels and allied troops loyal to ex-President Ali Abdullah Saleh. 14 from pro-government forces were also killed. Egypt's National Defense Council has extended its participation in the Saudi-led operation in Yemen, but didn't specify how long the extension would be for.
Blinding rain and rising floodwaters crippled the Northeast overnight. In upstate New York, roads were blanketed with snow and dangerous ice. Along the coast, waves pummeled seawalls while winds up to 60 miles per hour whipped across sand dunes. Floodwaters filled streets overnight, making them nearly impassable.
Being a former firefighter in the area, trust me, these roads are definitely not where you want to be.
In New Jersey, powerful wind gusts sent this window washing platform flying out of control and blew part of the roof off this apartment complex into a parking lot.
I ran outside to move my car, but my back windshield was already smashed in.
High tide submerged tracks along the busy Northeast corridor, where service was temporarily suspended. The conditions turned deadly in Philadelphia, where police say high winds knocked this sign off a building, striking and killing a 59-year-old man. In the suburbs outside Philadelphia and Washington, D.C., winds brought trees smashing down onto homes and across roads.
3 houses in a row. One came down at about 5 a.m. Another one next door came down at about 9 a.m. And I thought, oh, I hope that's it. And then that giant one came down.
The Russian Defense Ministry said on its website that Russian Tu-22 bombers flew from an airbase in Russia over Iraq and Iran to make the strike. The targets included a plant producing munitions and explosives, storages with ammunition and weapons, as well as areas of military hardware used by ISIL militants. Video posted on the ministry's website showed 2 bombers dropping bombs and black and white footage showing the targets being hit and the subsequent explosions.
At least 13 people are feared dead after a massive car explosion hit the Dayad Hotel. Witnesses said a suicide bomber detonated and